The TERFs are at it again. Don't you just love it when a TERF posts something with the intent of being transphobic, but all they end up doing is proving that trans people aren't the problem? They are. This tweet crossed my path, and I think it's really interesting to break down on several levels. Good old Chloe Dobbs being an absolute feckin' dauber in my fucking For You page. I do apologise, YouTube. I am coming in with the F-bombs right off the bat. Do bear with me. Just being to the ladies! I love that she feels the need to capitalise ladies, because that's the important piece of information here. She was just in the ladies. We don't need to know where you were, Chloe. We don't need to know what you were doing. If you needed to have like a dump in Waterloo Station, that's your fucking business. You don't need to blast it on Main. We don't want to know, love. Just being in the ladies' loos at Waterloo. Double loo. There was water in the loo. I was defeated, you won the war. Only to find a man in a frock in there with me. Decided not to confront or film him whilst... Well, that's very big of you, Chloe. Thank you very much. Thank you for being the bigger person here and deciding not to film them and then filming them anyway. So, big one there, Chloe. You're really setting the bar as low as it can possibly go. Deciding not to confront or film him in there where there was no CCTV in case he kicked off. But I was tempted. I bet you were, Chloe. I bet you were super tempted. I bet you were foaming at the mouth as soon as you saw a potential trans person there. Oh, the content. Oh, the clicks. Can we all agree this is a biological man? That frock is fooling no one. And then there's a video of said person walking through Waterloo. Now, there's a couple of things about this that I find ironically hilarious. Inadvertently, what Chloe has done has shown that she has been in the ladies' bathroom, seen someone who she has identified in her mind as a potential trans woman, and then said nothing happened. The trans woman, look, minding her own business, if this is a trans woman, because that's another case. We don't know that this is a trans woman. It could just be a cis woman who looks a certain way and Chloe has decided that she is a man. We don't know if this is a non-binary person. We don't know anything about this person other than what Chloe has very graciously shared with us. What an absolute love. However, what Chloe has said is that she went into the ladies, saw someone who she identified as a potential trans woman, and then watched as the trans woman went about her business, hopefully washed her hands, and as you can see very plainly in this video, is walking away, minding her own business, going about her day like all trans people do. But that wasn't enough for Chloe. Chloe had to not only stalk this person out of the ladies to film them, but then post a very aggressive tweet inciting not only fear for the trans community, fear against the trans community for them going into like women's spaces, but to incite that fear in the comment section. This video is sitting at 6.9 million views. The comment section is very much divided. However, the top comment, if I just scroll down one comment, the top comment is, what a load of nasty, obsessive, antisocial insanity. You make public spaces hostile and enjoy doing it. I agree. This is one of those situations where Chloe is trying to make this person out to be the danger in women's spaces. But she's done nothing wrong. They've gone into the bathroom, used the bathroom, left the bathroom, and here is the evidence right here of them walking away, being totally unantagonistic and going about their day. Nothing happened. The aggressor here is the TERF, claiming that she was going, very, very tempted, going to confront this potential trans person. She was the one that was going to do the confrontation. She was the one that was going to kick off, not the trans person. And I love her response to this. Love as in, get a fucking grip, Chloe. I'm just following the Supreme Court ruling. I could have caused a hostile situation by confronting him and shouting at him, but I left him be and didn't speak to him at all, actually. So no, I've not been hostile. You fucking are being passive aggressive and hostile right now. Even in your comment section, you're using the Supreme Court ruling as an excuse to stalk someone and film them when they don't know they're being filmed, certainly haven't been consented to being filmed, and you're making it out like this person was a problem when you were the problem here, Chloe. The incitement of hate on the trans community is something that is completely fabricated. It's the boogeyman. It's the monster under your bed. People are being told that these things are happening, and yet whenever a video of a trans person in public, in a woman's space is posted, you can clearly see that nothing is happening. The TERF is the aggressor. And I had a comment on one of my TikToks recently where someone said the women at the Supreme Court celebrating, I don't see them kicking off and yelling like trans people do. When trans people are fighting for their rights, for fighting for their lives, they're going to get a little bit loud. But to answer that, I have seen so many TERFs kicking off. And I don't just mean stalking people in Waterloo Station. I mean these so-called rational women who were celebrating outside of the Supreme Court after taking people's rights away were the same group of women who a couple of years ago were angrily and hysterically flashing merkins whilst in the Scottish courtroom while teenagers were present.
This Parliament will not respect the rights of women, then you have no decency. And if you will not be decent towards women who are being raped right now in jails that you're in charge of, if you will not be decent, then I will be indecent. Get it right, obvious. You terrible, terrible people. You're
totally rational. Yes, I can absolutely see your point. Yes, yeah. Rational to the nines, yeah. But it just goes to show I've never seen videos of trans people doing this, and yet TERFs are doing it very openly. We have video evidence of it. TERFs are the ones saying that trans people are kicking off in bathrooms, but we've just had a video showing very clearly that they're just in there to pee. If anything, I want more people to take time to talk to trans people. Even the Supreme Court ruling didn't even involve trans people in the situation, which is inherently illegal at one. You're supposed to keep law fair. If you've got a debate going on, then you need to hear both sides of the debate. Like, can you imagine if you were in the middle of an argument and you were excluded from the argument while someone on the other side made up a bunch of lies and fabrications about you to make you out to be the villain, and you had no voice, no way to defend yourself in that situation? That's the trans community right now. Trans people are purposefully being excluded from the conversation because we bring nuance to the debate. And I hate saying debate because people's lives and how they live shouldn't be up for debate if it's not hurting anybody, if it's not illegal in any way, although they are making it illegal now, so we don't even have a leg to stand on, which is in itself inherently unfair and goes against everything that the law and the government is supposed to be there for. In fact, just to come back to this video, it is technically illegal to record someone if your intent is to cause harm. Recording someone with the intent to harass, intimidate, or stalk can be illegal. Similarly, recording someone in a private setting where they have a reasonable expectation of privacy, like a ladies' bathroom, may be considered intrusive and potentially illegal. So while going into a private setting like the women's bathroom, now I know that Chloe didn't film in the women's bathroom, but she did film walking away from a woman's bathroom, stalking someone essentially. Like, there's no other way to describe this other than you're stalking this lady out of the woman's bathroom. If she is indeed a lady, we do not know. Like I say, it could be a non-binary person, could just be someone that doesn't fit what you assume that gender is supposed to look like. But what you've done is you've walked behind this person, stalked them down Waterloo Station for like 5 seconds, filmed it, and then posted the evidence on Twitter for everyone to see, whilst trying to incite not only fear but harassment in the actual comment. This could technically potentially be illegal. Fundamentally, all this shows is that trans people just want to use the bathroom. Even if you see a trans person in your bathroom, all you're going to see is them going to the bathroom, hopefully washing their hands and leaving, which is evident in this video right here. It just shows that what you really need to do is start spending more time with trans people. And if you have sat down to watch this video I am trans, so thank you very much for your time. I really do appreciate it. Listening to trans people speak, listening to their voices, seeing how they live, it's just one of those ways where you're going to see the exact opposite of all these things that trans people are being accused of by TERFs. Trans people just want to live their lives. They just want to go to the bathroom when they need to go to the bathroom. They'll go in, they'll leave, you'll never see them again. If there's one takeaway that I want you to have from this video, is that listen to trans people. Don't take in all of this manic vitriol that's now being put out and call it out. One of the most powerful things you can do is to just shut it down. Even just that comment on that tweet there, where all it said was, "You're fear-mongering, stop. That's enough." And please, don't stalk trans people. If you see someone that you think is trans, the worst thing you can do for yourself, not just the trans person, is to stalk them, record it, and then post the evidence online. It's not a good look, Chloe. I'm not gonna lie. You come off way worse in this than whoever you're filming does. This isn't the gotcha that you think it is. If anything, it's people like Chloe that are making bathrooms more dangerous, not just for people like me, but for people who aren't trans, for women who just want to use the bathroom and go in and not be accused of being a man because they have a slightly square jaw, they're slightly taller or broader than the average female. It's just creating a really weird situation where more and more people are becoming unsafe from the people who claim that they're trying to keep women and children safe. Trans people aren't the issue here. I'm afraid TERFs are. Not just TERFs, but in this situation, the TERF is the aggressor, not the person who is walking away, minding their own business and going about their own lives. But hey, if you've watched my video and given a trans person a little bit of your time to speak, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. You've done more than any TERF has ever done. Honestly, lads, we just want to pee. I just want to pee. I just want to go into a bathroom, pee, wash my hands, not be perceived. I hate public spaces anyway. Like, I hate public bathrooms. I'm a huge germaphobe. So just going in there, if I'm desperate enough that I need to go into a public bathroom, the last thing I need is some lass behind me with her fucking iPhone out being like, that's a biological female. What's she doing in the fucking mans? I'm a fucking trans man. Leave me alone. And sometimes I will be in the ladies. I don't discriminate. I go into whichever one smells nicer and has a shorter queue. I've no use for urinals. I've no use for urinals. I go where the facilities accommodate what I have, what I need. And no one's given me any trouble so far. No one's given me any trouble. I've not given anybody any trouble. I had a lovely conversation with someone when I was in Edinburgh the other day. They couldn't figure out how to use the taps that we have up in Scotland. They've got they're kind of like Y-shaped, and the tap's all motion sensor. So you put your hands in the middle for the water, and then you use the little arm bits at the side to dry your hands on. And she couldn't figure it out. So I gave her a hand and she said thank you. And we had a lovely conversation. And I was the trans person in the bathroom. I was the trans person in the bathroom that you all fear. And I helped a lady with her tap, and she said thank you and told me to have a lovely day, because people are sweethearts. But not Chloe. The people who are in here threatening to kick off because someone doesn't look a certain way or because you just don't like them, they're the problem. That's the issue. Let's just all have a nice bathroom experience where we go in, complain about the smell a little bit, help each other with the taps, wash our hands, leave, wish everybody a good day. That's all trans people want. I can guarantee it. Anyway, I'll quit rambling. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you've liked the video, remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more. I want to give a huge shout out to my Patreons. Thank you guys for helping support the channel. If you want to consider supporting the channel, becoming a patron, there's a link in the description box down below. Or if you want to join the channel as a member, also help support the channel. Thank you very much. There's also a link for that in the description box down below. A huge thank you to anyone who has become a patron or joined the channel so far. Thank you for listening to a trans man just ramble on a little bit. I hope that just listening to a trans man talk and reassure you helps with everything that's going on right now, because let's face it, the world is feckin' on fire. Anyway, you have a fantastic day. Look out for your trans friends. We'll look out for you. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching, guys. See you in the next one.